Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. We discuss today's game where it finished Celtic 6, St Mirren 2, as Celtic book their place in next month's Scottish Cup final where we'll face Dunfermline. I'm joined by Alistair to go over whatever that was today. Alistair, where did we start with that game today? Because it was wild, to be honest.
Well, I was going to say it was like going on a roller coaster, but it was more like a waltzer, to be honest. They were spinning you around, and you were like, when's this going to stop? But no, I thought, like we've said a lot recently, we started well. I thought this is the day we're going to um, keep keep banging at the door. And to be fair, Josh, we could have been out of sight in 10 minutes. But when you don't take your chances, always a chance that comes back and bites you in the ass, especially this season.
Aye, normally this Celtic team, it does bite them in the arse. That's what I'm
But
saying.
but no, I genuinely thought it started well. I thought, go to the early goal, they'll have to come out. And and to be honest, although we hit the bar a few times, I thought if we don't kill this, but at half time, I'm not going to lie, I was quite comfortable. But we'll go into that.
Aye, I thought, to be honest, first half we started pretty well. We got the goal kind of early on, which kind of helps as well, to be fair. So we got that kind of goal early on, which of course kind of helps. But yeah, I think you're right. You want us to kick on. Maeda gets, as I said, the early goal. Presses the goalkeeper into making a mistake and gets a goal a minute into the game. So you're thinking, right, okay, can we kick on for this? But at the back of your mind, you're thinking, no, they can't, because this Celtic team seem incapable of kicking on from situations. But I thought, as you said, after that, created chances, hit the bar a few times. You're thinking, right, just need to get a second goal, because we know with this Celtic team, they're going to go through a half, or they're going to go through a period where they're just being completely outclassed and forget to play football. I mean, and the I mean, that was probably the second, just before the second half. We get the goal. Anthony Ralston makes it two. With a really good finish. Yang does well to kind of lay it back to him, and it's a good strike. Get into half time. You still get that thing at the back of your mind, right? What team are we going to get in the second half? And unfortunately, Alistair, we get. I don't know if they were drinking at half time. I mean, they looked drunk.
Um, yeah, Josh, I agree with you, but until that Michael Mandron first goal, I was reasonably comfortable. I mean, I wasn't enjoying the second half, but I was comfortable. I thought, worst case scenario, see the game out. But as soon as as soon as St. Mirren scored, I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Aye.
And I
Well, you
think
knew it was
everybody
coming.
around the stadium was like that.
I was sitting. I was at the game with my dad. He said, and he kept saying, he was like, when he watched that Mandarin, he's the main player, which is obviously kind of, he scored the two goals. And you're like, you don't want an early goal to start the second half. Here you go, an early goal, and I thought St Mirren completely bossed the second half. To be honest,
Yeah,
I
and
thought the biggest issue I had with the Celtic team in the second half was still
midfield.
we were just getting bullied.
Aye.
We were getting bullied. There was a point when Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, had the ball, and he's so soft, and he's on the ground. He's going like, why is it? Why
And
is
it
it?
was just on the park as well.
And I'm like, I'm like, you don't get that up here. Welcome to Scottish football. It might not be the most technically, but it's physical. And St Mirren, as we know, one of the most kind of physical teams in the league. Big guys like Gogic and all that. Who are good, and they don't give a fuck if they just want to be physical and whatever. But I thought it's not even about technicality. And the second half, it was a lack of fight, and I'm like, we know it's coming here. St Mirren are going to score, and that unfortunately that's what happened. St Mirren, the second goal that they score, Alistair, I mean,
Schoolboy, mate.
it's just
Schoolboy.
terrible.
one
The
ball
the
to the
one
centre
ball. Don't get
half.
me wrong. The finish is good. I thought the finish was good finish, but it was schoolboy. It was. I mean, it was one ball down the
Aye,
midfield, and that's all it takes to get at a Celtic team.
aye.
Unfortunate at the moment. But it was coming before that because Sinisalo had made some good saves to keep us at it.
I
They were just
I thought I know we'll probably get to kickouts and sloppiness, but honestly, God, I thought Zanazalo saved us a good few times, Josh, and I don't think that should be
we
forgotten.
made
To be
that,
honest.
that really good save I think in the first half for the corner. That's a really
Yep,
good stop.
yep.
Um, I
They
was
got it
feated
out and over.
we was feated I'd get away with it. Like I don't know what it was with the two goalkeepers today, but they get away. They were
I
really
mean,
struggling
I
with the ball at
don't
their feet.
see that one he kicked after the boy. I don't think that would have stood. I think it was a bit on ball, but he done well to call it out. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about.
Aye, the one where he kicks it against them and then
Aye, aye,
aye, I
that
know
one.
exactly what you're talking about.
He actually done well to make sure that didn't cross the line, but we should never be putting that
No,
aside.
we should never be put in that position. Um, I'm going to be honest. We got that goal, St Mirren in the extra time, and I'm just like, here we go again, because the last experience of Hampden Park was the Scottish Cup final for myself, and aye,
We
I was
said
like,
about that
here,
one the better.
here we go again, and I was like, because St Mirren were in the kind of they were kind of had the upper hand. I thought they're going to carry it. I think we were lucky there was only 4 minutes added on time. Because I
Well,
think
I
if it was
don't know if
eight or
you
nine
remember
minutes,
this, Joyce, but see the right af, after the 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 pod after the pod after just before the Sriracha ball in, and it was going to an actual when the boy headed it out for a corner.
aye,
The just before that, they bust down the right, which he did the whole second half, and I think it was Declan John, and Sanazalo just managed to grab it, and
aye, it
we were
was
like that because every time the ball come down that side, especially the second half, I was like, oh no.
because the thing is Celtic can't control football matches at the moment. I don't know what it is. We've got no control over a match.
We
We
lost
can't.
control in the midfield when Arne Engels went off.
Aye, we've lost control all season of football matches. Unfortunately, and that was the same day. But and don't I was absolutely fuming at foot.
I read your text, so
Aye, I was
yeah, I know
absolutely. And
you
I
were
text you
fuming.
saying embarrassing because it was embarrassing. That was and I'm glad that I don't like to come across really negative, and we don't agree on this point, the whole booing point. But I
No,
think
I
fans,
don't. I don't.
and it's a matter of opinion, but I just think fans are well within their rights. I just thought that second half performance was stinking from a
It
Celtic team.
was.
I thought it
I
was
just want
stinking.
to see what Boone's going to do when you're going to an
I
extra
get
time.
that. I just felt that fans pay decent money and stuff, and we were cruising to a good first half. I think especially when fans see that good first half performance, and then they see that in the second half, you're like, what the hell? Because that was, I mean, I'm sorry, but that was absolutely unacceptable for a Celtic performance in that second half. And I don't think we'll actually speak about it as much because we've won the game, thankfully, in extra time. But
Aye.
that was dreadful. But getting into extra time, we all were shouting and bawling, and fucking obviously doing it at the Green Bay. I'm actually going to speak about the atmosphere because I thought it was really good today, but I'll speak about that after I'm finished everything else. With everything else, my head's banging because I'm hungover as well, by the way, just to
Aye, it
add
was
that
his
in there. And I'm like,
birthday
Celtic,
yesterday, folks.
don't start. I'm like, do not start. I'm already I wasn't, rough as, but I was a bit, delicate as you said yesterday.
Aye,
Or, um,
yeah, okay.
and I'm like, just don't. Cause I'm, but we get into the extra time, and I don't know what Martin O'Neill said to them at the kind of interval, but we waste no time at all. James
The
Forrest
way
plays a really good ball into the box, and Ini actual latches onto the header for the obviously to make it 3-2.
it was, it was like getting in the extra time, Josh. The extra time was just bonkers. I mean, that was just bonkers. But what I will say, it was like you remember the Duracell bunny adverts where the batteries are running low. You put a Duracell battery in, and you're like and you're like you've got 11 days my head is running for the line. That's what the extra time was like, mate.
Aye,
And in general, I thought the subs were decent when they
I
come
thought the
on.
midfield subs were a bit off. I would have took
No,
either
I
Engel
mean the
or
later
McGregor
subs
off.
like Sarachi and Forrest. I thought they
Aye.
really changed the game.
The only subs I had an issue with were the midfield subs. I just thought I wouldn't have took both of them off. I would have took either McGregor or Engels off.
I
Cause
don't think you changed your whole midfield. I think
I
that was
just
a
felt we
mistake.
lost a lot of control there. But we wasted no time in doubling our lead, or getting two in front, sorry, in extra time. Luke McCowan latches, I think it was like a long ball, and he kind of latches onto it, and then at that point, you're like, right, this game is over.
And that
There's
was
no
a bad
way that
goal,
St
Josh.
Mirren get back into the game. Then we had another goal, Iniacho with a really good finish. I genuinely, I mean, I've been crying out for something like that the whole season. I've been crying out for somebody to take that kind of striker's jersey and a good finish like that. But I
I
just wish
know,
the guy would stay
I
fit.
know that'll be my one of my goals this season. Look, so if we do an end of season podcast, me, you, and Liam, it would. I think genuinely the any actual goal will be up there, and I'm only
Aye.
sorry for him that the goal of the season um votes are already out because technically that's outstanding, and I have never seen a goal like that scored by a Celtic player. And I'm not
Um,
exaggerating. Technically, that's superb.
I know it was really good, but unfortunately, the guy who scores it can't stay fit. And that's just where we are this season. I think if we could get him fit, I think he would be our number one striker. Cause I think he's got the quality to do just that. He's just never fit. And
And the guy's only 28.
the
That's
one thing I also don't subscribe, because obviously for me he starts against Falkirk next week. Um, there's no debate. I'm not having this crap. Oh, but he can't start games. He's a professional football player. I don't care if he can play 50 minutes. I don't care if he can play 45 minutes. I don't care if he can play 60 minutes. You play him. What's the point in bringing him off the bench when we're 0-0 with 20 minutes to go? And it's all panic stations.
yeah. I
You
get you.
play your best players from the start, end of, and Kelechi Nacho at the moment, and I know it's not very difficult to be your best striker at the moment, is our best striker because he's the only player that can actually hit a ball properly.
I mean, you know, you know it's a good finish, Josh, when when the goalkeeper doesn't even move.
And do you know what Gini actually? I think he genuinely cares. I was
You can tell it means something to him.
when I was sitting, the players kind of warm up, and so you see them kind of warming up and all that. And he actually was warming up, and he actually somebody passed the ball back. Fucking, he's on the touchline. He's like pure raging. He was fuming, man. And then the ball was getting up. He's kind of like pointing to the players, get up. And then I noticed at the end of the game, it went to the Green Brigade, and he's waving his arms about. And I'm like, right, do you know what? You actually fucking care sometimes.
I think,
This is what
I
this team's
think,
missing. Somebody actually cares.
cause he's played at the highest level in the squad, I would say, and that is a compliment to Kelechi, and that shows talent, right? But he's probably played at the highest level. Kieran Tierney, you
I'm a
could
Tierney,
maybe
I would
argue,
say.
but but in terms
Played for the
of
best team. Played for the best team in England, by the way. Just like
we're the best team, man.
Arsenal played
Let's
for
be
him.
right here.
Played for Arsenal.
I know we're the best team. Um, but
Huh?
I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Move on. Um,
Who's the best team in England?
well, it'd be Man City.
No, I would just say we're the best. We're no for England.
No, I know.
You've made
I
an
said
absolute arse of that.
we're the best team. I said where. I thought you were saying Arsenal are the best team in England.
Right, okay, where? I thought you said we're the
Where
best
I
team. I was like,
said
"That's-"
where.
Right, moving on.
Hey, moving on. Calm down. Don't get that clip out, whatever you do. Um, no, but as I say, just I think Kalechi and actual saying no, I should be bossing this league. He's got that arrogance, healthy arrogance, I call it, and I think that's why he cares so much because he doesn't want to come up here and flop.
Aye, but the thing is, he's just not fit, and I hate keep continuing to say that, but that's just the fact, unfortunately. But no, overall, I thought it was pretty good. And then a goal a minute, not even a minute later, and of course, Benjamin Negrin does nothing the whole game and gets a goal. I mean,
Aye,
honestly,
well,
20
that's been
goals he's
Benjamin
had for the
Nicholas'
season.
season, to be honest with you.
20 goals he's managed to get. And do you know what? Fair enough to him. I applaud it. He will win
Not
Real
said
Player of
that.
the Season. If anybody else shouldn't be winning that player. Benjamin Egan is Celtic's Player of the Season. You
Yeah,
can't argue with stats.
I would say so. But
Um,
I don't think he'll get. I don't think normally if you sell the player of the year, Josh, there's uproar. I don't think there would be.
I would keep him.
I know you've always said that to be
I
fair.
still think, and people might be outraged at that, but I still think he's good. I'd like to see him under a new manager because he's been messed about. Well, they said three different managers try to
Uh,
coach him and
yeah,
stuff, and
well, the guy that bought him in lasted what
and
9
then
games?
aye, so you had Rogers, you had Nance, you had Martin O'Neill. So I'd like to see him and see how if he can get kind of full uninterrupted season under his belt. Um,
Well, touch wood. Thank God he
uh,
stayed fat.
I know. So I would keep Negrin if I'm being honest, and people might not like that, but I still think he has something to give in a Celtic shirt.
Put it this way, he wouldn't be the first at the door.
No, I wouldn't definitely. I'm not going to be able to sell all the every single player on the team at the end of the day as well. At the end of the day, I don't think you can argue with 20 goals. Is
I
his
will
play
play
time
goal for
crap?
a midfielder, some going by the way.
Aye. Is his play time rubbish? Aye, I can fully agree with that. But as I also said, I don't think he'd be the first out the door. But no, that was it. Alistair obviously 6-2 in the end. Bit of a mental scoreline through to the Scottish Cup final. We'll be facing Dunfermline on the 23rd of May.
It's
Neil
the
Lennon's
second best
Dunfermline.
six. It's the second best 6-2 in the club's history.
Aye.
You know,
Um,
ding ding.
um,
Martin, you love the 6-2.
aye. But no, so Neil Lennon's Dunfermline in the final. Martin O'Neill versus Neil Lennon, which is just mental to actually
I'm
say
no
that.
big in nostalgia, but I'll be honest, I'm kinda looking forward to that.
I've got horrible visions of Neil Lennon doing the aeroplane up and down the touchline when he's scoring a last minute fucking goal and
Oh,
he's the
don't,
bees in
don't,
the Scottish Cup
don't.
final.
No,
Neil
but
Lennon
I think,
aeroplane.
I think to be honest, there's something up to, well, I know some people think Martin O'Neill will be here next year. I personally don't, and I hope he isn't, because
Club need to
because
move on.
I think, Josh, and I'm going to say this, there's something ironic that that the guy that Martin O'Neill bought to Celtic at a lot of expense at the time said is going to be in the opposition dugout in Martin O'Neill's last game in management.
I know it is. It's
And I
just
quite like
that's
that as a, is a story. I certainly hope Martin O'Neill has the last laugh because
No, of
I
course.
would kind of hate the staying in the club, to be honest with you. But let's be honest.
Opposition fans would have an absolute field day with that. Neil
Yeah,
Lennon beating Celtic in a cup final.
the build up is going to get on my nerves. I'm going to be honest with you.
Aye, you can
But
already see it. They'll be interviewing them in different rooms and all that. Maybe get them in
well,
a boxing ring.
although
Press conferences and all that.
I love the way I don't know if you noticed, and I did notice
I
it
did
was
see they
my
obviously interviewed
highlight.
them together, and I was
Well,
like, used to all the Martin. He was like, "Aye, we done this," and I'm like, "Martin, we're literally playing them next month. Shut the fuck up! Like,
I,
shut up, man. We're literally playing them now."
well,
He's like, "Aye, we done this,
I
and oh, we
kind of
done this."
heard
Oh,
Neil
shut the.
Lennon say, I wonder what Neil Lennon was a year, and it was Terry Roberts said this. So I'm not going to claim it. He actually said, if, if you actually listen to the commentary, he actually said it must have been sitting there thinking, I want Celtic to win, but obviously,
No,
I wa-
he would be cheering for St Mirren. Let's be honest here. Right, I'm sorry, but Job overtakes who you like. He's got a chance to win a cup, get Dunfermline into Europe. That's mental.
and the thing is, Josh, we might need to win the Scottish Cup to get
Oh, don't right.
reasonable
You're adding too much
European
to this
football.
scenario. Neil Lennon doing the aeroplane up the touchline when they've fucked our European players, fucked us at the Scottish Cup. Honestly,
No, but let me be clear. We're guaranteed Europe, but none of us want Conference League.
no, we went at least Europa League.
Aye, aye.
Um, but no, so that's who we're. That's what's going to happen. Scottish Cup final, 23rd of May. But obviously before that, we've got the small matter of the beginning of the post-split fixtures. We'll see what happens with them. We'll obviously discuss it near the time. But Alistair, man of the match for you, who would it be?
I'm going to surprise you. I know you said you thought it was poor, but I thought Maeda was really, really good. It's a hard role, especially when midfield loses control, and I thought Maeda kept kept running his heart out, and it was good to see. I genuinely thought I couldn't argue with Maeda as man of the match.
You're going to be even more shocked. I'm going to be honest, right? And
I know who you're going to
the
pick.
guy gets criticised a lot, right? But I'm going to say Anthony Ralston.
Yeah, he would.
Because I
And
genuinely thought it was okay. He was granted tackles.
he was the only man that tackled. I could say that.
He was the only one that showed a bit of fight in terms of trying to get into tackles and competing with St Mirren. He scored the goal, and you know what I'm saying. Tony Ralston's good. He was good. I know people might think I'm talking shite. I don't care, right? But do you know what? Tony Ralston for me, he gets a lot of criticism, but do you know what? He played well today. So
Um, I'm gonna bout your knowledge because you were at Pix level. I was high up. I just, I'm gonna give Tony Ralston his flowers, and you'll probably faint because you know I really don't like Tony Ralston.
I just thought he
But
showed something that was missing for the rest of the team. A bit of fight.
I
He
mean,
might be limited in terms of technical ability. We know that.
I,
But he showed a bit of fight, to be fair to the guy.
and see, to be honest, that I mean, thank God he's here because Don, God knows who. See if he got injured, who would literally who
Hatate at
would
right
be
back,
playing?
probably. Hatate would play eventually, right back.
I was going to say Engels only
Aye.
because
I know
he
Hatate's
started at
played right
right
back in
back.
his career, so it could maybe be Hatate or Engels. So, but no, overall, I thought Ralston was decent. The team got across the line, getting into the Scottish Cup in kind of ridiculous fashion. But as it says in the title, we got our act together in extra time and we booked a place in next month's Scottish Cup final. But I'm going to wrap it up there for tonight's video, and we'll be back through the week with build up to that game on Saturday against Falkirk as the
Half
split
five, by
fixtures.
the way.
of 5.
Just in case people don't know.
Aye, as the split fixtures get underway. But until next time, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.